Hello. Welcome, Mama, to day 3 of your Beat the Burnout yoga bundle. So today we're going to be doing a gentle yoga flow to really help us reconnect, get into our bodies, reconnect with our body, to the sensations, hopefully release a little tension throughout the body on the way. Because when we are in this state of burnout, exhaustion, depletion, it is so easy to get into, we're sort of running on autopilot, right? We might not even be aware of what we're doing, of how we're feeling, we're just going through the motions. And this practice is to really help you come back to yourself, come back to your body, and give it a little bit of much needed love and attention. All right, so we're going to begin in a comfortable seated position. And if you feel any rounding through the spine, if the hips are feeling tight, go ahead, grab a pillow, sit up on the bolster, anything to give yourself a little lift. Closing the eyes here. Maybe taking a few moments to just move around. Use the hands to remove the flesh from beneath the sit bones. Taking a moment to settle here into your seat. Taking an inhale, reaching the shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale, rolling them back and down. Doing that 2 more times with your breath. Inhale, shoulders roll forward and up. Exhale, rolling them back and down. Last time. Inhale. Exhale, rolling the shoulders back and down, letting the palms rest gently on the thighs. Really rooting down through the sit bones here. Begin to lengthen up through the spine, reaching out the crown through the ceiling. And slowly begin to notice your breath. Following the natural ebb and flow. Following the inhales, seeing where they move throughout the body. Using the exhales to relax and release into the seated position just a little bit more. Inhale, moving the breath into the front side of the body. Belly, chest, and ribs expand. Exhale, softening down through the shoulders. Inhale, belly, chest, and ribs expand. Exhale, see if you can relax any tension coming from the lower back. Inhale, breathing into the front side of the body. Exhale, relax a little bit more through the hips. Taking a moment to scan your body, noticing where you're holding any tightness, any tension. With the inhales, moving your breath to that part of the body. And with the exhale, seeing if you can relax and release a little bit more. Doing this for a few breaths. Noticing, where do you hold on to the tension? Where are you feeling tight? And using your breath to release and relax a little bit more. One more breath here. Taking a nice long inhale in through the nose. Loud audible exhale out through the mouth. Slowly opening your eyes and coming over onto hands and knees. We'll begin to warm up the spine with a couple rounds of cat-cow. So making sure the knees are below the hips, wrists below the shoulders, fingertips spread wide. Inhaling, tailbone lifts, belly drops, chest gaze through, look forward, cow. Exhaling, tucking the tailbone, chin to chest, crown to floor, round through the spine, cat. Inhaling, belly drops, heart reaches forward, gaze forward, cow. Exhaling, tucking the pelvis, navel to spine, chin to chest, crown to floor. Doing these motions, following your own breath. Coming back to center now. Bring the knees wide, toes together. Reach those hips back, arms reaching forward. Coming into our child's pose. If the hips are feeling tight, you need a little extra support. Place a blanket, place a bolster, place a pillow. Really letting the forehead press into the earth, letting the chest melt. Inhale, moving the breath into the back, feeling the back expand. Exhale, softening down through the hips. Inhale, moving the breath into the back, feeling the back side of the body expand. Exhaling, softening, releasing the hips a little bit more. One more breath here. Letting yourself give in to the earth, letting her hold you. Next, inhale, coming back up onto hands to knees, moving the knees in towards each other, tabletop. And from here, we're going to begin to trace circles with our heart. Now your circles might be big, they might be small, fast or slow. Find what feels good for you. If the knees are a little tender, feel free to put a blanket or a towel under the knees. And then I invite you to get the hips moving as well. Any direction, maybe circles, maybe it feels good to do figure eights. Maybe you begin to release and roll the head. Really close the eyes. Connect here with your body, what it needs in this moment. Not worrying about what it looks like, but what does it feel like? Really creating this eternal dialogue with yourself. Coming back into your body, listening to your body, honoring your body. Doing this for one more breath. And coming back to center. Really rooting down through the hands now. Tucking the toes, bend the knees as we begin to lift the hips and melt the heart through the shoulders. So really pressing down through the fingertips, lengthening through the side bodies. Tailbone is reaching towards the ceiling. Maybe begin to walk out the heels, slowly lowering one heel at a time. Bending both knees, sit bones come towards the ceiling, spine long. Maybe we begin to lower the heels towards the mat. If you begin to round, bend the knees. We want a nice long spine here. One more breath. And exhale, coming back down to tabletop. From here, bringing the right foot forward in between the hands. We might need a couple of blocks or a couple of books, something to give us a little height here. We want the right knee over the right ankle. We don't want to be in this position. So using our blocks for support if we need. Imagine reaching that heart forward. We really want to feel that nice length through the side bodies, like in our child's pose. maybe today we stay here. If it feels opening and welcome, maybe you begin to lift your hands up. So don't feel as if we're collapsing. The legs are active, so feel as if we're pulling this right heel back and we're moving the energy of this left shin, left knee forward to create that support as we extend. And with the exhales, we're melting down into the hips. Maybe it feels good to cactus and really open through the chest, open the shoulders, listening to the body, finding your position for today in this moment. One more breath. From here on the exhale, begin to push the hips back. We're going to come into a half split. So if we have our blocks or books, we can move those back. You're going to begin to flex those toes back towards the face. Maybe if we don't have blocks, our hands are on the floor. Once again, reaching that heart forward. Lots of times we round. We think the goal is to touch the knee or to touch the toe. It isn't. We want that nice long spine. We want this nice opening through the chest. As mothers, we already do so much of this rounding, holding babies, carrying groceries. Maybe just wag those hips a little bit side to side. Create a little space. Create a little movement if that feels good. Coming back to stillness. Imagine bringing that left hip forward as that right hip comes back. Maybe we fold a little bit more on the exhale. One more breath here. Good. Slowly bending back into that front knee. Hands come down. Bring that right knee back. Coming now into your child's pose or your downward facing dog. Whatever feels good to you. Listen to your body. This is your practice. This is what you need. Connect with yourself. One more breath wherever you are. And then we'll all meet back up again in tabletop. Moving now, our left foot forward in between the hands, knee over ankle. Maybe grabbing our blocks or our books, whatever it is we need. Maybe our hands are on the floor. Really reaching this chest forward, keeping this nice opening here, nice expansion. Pause. Maybe we stay here. Maybe it feels good to reach the arms out and up. Once again, having that support from the legs. So having that action of left heel and foot moving back as the right shin is pulling that energy forward. From there, we're lifting, we're expanding, we're keeping the intercostal muscles growing. Maybe it feels good to open the chest, a slight back bend here. And with the exhales, seeing if we can melt and release the tension in the front right hip. Finding whatever position feels good on this side for you in this moment. And with the next exhale, we begin to slowly shift those hips back. Let that left foot lift, left toes coming back. Breathing into this left hamstring. Maybe we have a slight bend in the knee if hamstrings are really tight, right? That is okay. All right, the goal for this is to connect with your body and to give it what it needs in this moment, not to force it into any of these positions, but let the positions work for you to give you what you need. Maybe we do a little hip wag. Create some movement if that feels good. If it doesn't, stay still. Imagine bringing this hip back as the right hip comes forward, bringing our hips into alignment. One more breath here. The next exhale, maybe we can reach forward and fold a little bit more. One more breath. Good. Lifting back up. Slowly we begin to bend back into that left knee. Hands drop down, bringing that left knee back. Once again, you choose. Maybe we sit into a child's pose. Maybe you do a little bit more of that body dialogue, as I like to call it. Maybe it feels good to come into downward facing dog. Right? There's no wrong answer. Listen to what your body needs. Listen to what you want. Doing this for one more breath. Good. Exhale, coming back down to hands and knees. We're going to slowly come onto our backs. Bending both knees up towards the ceiling now. Placing the right ankle across the left thigh, letting that right knee fall out. Maybe we stay here. You might be already feeling something in the outer right hip. If you need a little bit more, maybe we begin to bend the knees in towards the chest. Pause. Breathe into the sensations. If you need a little bit more, maybe hands come behind the left thigh or maybe over the left shin. Pause. Breathing into the sensations, noticing if you've started to grip in the jaw, maybe scrunch through the forehead. Just noticing with awareness and seeing if you can relax and release those parts of the body with the next exhale. Holding here for one more breath. Good. Slowly releasing the feet down, keeping that left foot where it is. Cross the right leg over the left as if we're sitting at the table. Arms coming out to the sides in a T, palms facing up. Slowly drop the knees over to the left. Coming into our eagle twist. If it feels good, maybe you begin to let the head and the gaze come out over towards the right palm. Maybe the eyes close. If that isn't available for you today, just let the back of the head rest into the mat with the gaze upwards. Holding here for another breath. Slowly bringing the knees up, coming back towards center, uncrossing the right leg. Foot coming to the floor. Bringing that left ankle now over the right thigh, left knee falls out. Begin to bend both knees up towards the chest. Pause, noticing any sensations in the outer left hip. Maybe we can bring the hands behind the left thigh or behind the right thigh or over the right shin. Keeping those left toes flexed, so left foot is active, toes going back towards the left knee. Breathing into that outer left hip, seeing the breath swirl around, creating movement. And exhaling away any tightness and tension, seeing it leave the body as you breathe out. Holding here for a few more breaths. After the next exhale, releasing that right foot down, arms out to the sides in a T. Cross that left leg over the right and let the knees drop to the right side. Noticing if it's available for you on this side, you can begin to let the chin fall towards the left shoulder, gaze out soft over the fingertips or maybe eyes closed. If that doesn't feel good for you in this moment, just let the back of the head melt into the mat. Holding here for another breath. Inhaling, coming back up through center, uncrossing that left leg, bringing both feet to the mat. Now we're going to bend both feet up towards the sky. Knees are going to come out as the feet are flexed towards the ceiling, coming into our happy baby. So maybe we just hold on to the outer edges of the shins We can rock back and forth. Maybe we can reach the outer edges of the feet. Maybe you make little circles with your feet. Maybe you just stay still. Once again, try not to reach out or up with the shoulders, letting the shoulders be down away from the ears. Maybe holding onto the shins, finding what feels good for you now, connecting with that. If you want to move, invite movement. If you want to be still, be still. This is your practice, your body. After the next exhale, bringing those knees together. Maybe just grabbing onto the shins or behind the thighs, trying to bring yourself into a little ball. Next, inhale, curl yourself and bring the forehead towards the knees. Maybe you can wrap yourself a little bit more, giving yourself a nice hug. Then exhale, releasing out and long. Let the body stretch, point the toes, reach the hands up. And then exhale, relax and release, bringing the shoulders down. So lifting up the left shoulder, bringing the scapula down. Lifting the right, bring the scapula back and down. Letting the arms fall out to the sides, palms faced up. Letting the toes roll out as the heels roll in. Coming into our final resting pose, Shavasana. You might feel good if you want to add a blanket or a pillow under the knees for a little extra support on the lower spine. So making any tiny adjustments that your body needs before we come into stillness. Letting the body connect and melt into the mat. And finding stillness here for as long as your day allows. Thank you for practicing with me today, Mama. I hope to practice again with you real soon. Namaste.